Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live English lesson with me, teacher Zdenek. And at this point, I normally say one of my students, but today there is no student. Partially, I am responsible for this. And that's because I think I didn't give enough of notice to my potential students. As you may well know from the previous lessons, my YouTube students, should I say YouTube students? I don't know what the expression is. My students that I do lives with, they come from the Discord group that I have because it's one of the benefits you get as a member. But unfortunately, today there is no student. These students that are interested in taking these lessons, they take turns. But I think because I gave them a short notice today and a lot of them simply can't make it, unfortunately, they didn't show up, which means it's just me today. I hope that's okay. I hope we will make it work. I hope you don't mind me talking like this to you. And I guess it means that you guys can get involved. Obviously, you have the chat box at disposal. You can leave comments. You can say hi. Tell me where you're from. Tell me who you are. And we can have a little conversation here in this kind of way. And obviously, I can help you with your English as well if need be. Do you know this expression, if need be? I think it's relatively formal, but people sometimes use it in a neutral context as well. If need be pretty much means if necessary or if it's needed. Yeah. Very good phrase to use. So if need be, I can correct your English, and that's your opportunity to basically improve, right? It's your opportunity to get better because with all of us, there's always room for improvement, which is another good expression, by the way. It's a idiomatic phrase. There is room for improvement. It means it's like another way of saying, well, you can always get better, right? So yeah. Oh, great. Glad that you're watching, Monica. It's good to see you here. Obviously, Monica, one of the Achievers Chamber members, one of the faces of these YouTube live lessons, and always a pleasure to have a lesson with her, of course. So, how are you doing, Monica? Is everything okay? Are you still? Do you still go to Ukraine? Do you still do the humanitarian aid? Let us know in the comments. I'm quite curious about that. And yeah, so honestly, I have some stuff prepared, but it's mostly about promoting the things I do and telling you about myself. So there might be some people watching me for the first time ever. They might be wondering, who the hell is this guy? Well, my name is Zdenek, as you may have guessed from the name of my YouTube channel. I don't think at this point it's any secret. Yeah, so I am an English teacher. I work online. Yes, I freelance. That's right. I work independently. I used to work for a lot of language schools in the past, different sort of schools, and for some schools, long term as well. And yeah, then I also worked for a few summer camps in London and then also in Ireland. And for about a year, right before the pandemic, I was employed by quite a reputable language school in central London. It was actually located, or it is still located in Oxford Street. The name of the school is Speak Up London, if you are wondering what the name is. And yeah, I have to say, it has all been fun. But I became an independent teacher right after the pandemic happened. I mean, a lot of teachers actually did that, so I don't think it's anything unusual. So now what I do is that I have my own clients, my own students, and I also do a lot of stuff for free for my students. So if you are interested in that, obviously there's this YouTube channel that's definitely 100% free. Yeah, you can watch any of these videos. And then, so like, what kind of videos do we have here? It's a mixed bag, which is another quite nice expression. A mixed bag, which means It's a, let's say, a selection of different items. Yeah, varied, quite varied. So you may have noticed that in the past I dabbled in teaching English through board games. It is a bit hard to do that online, to be honest with you. Like, there is a platform called Tabletop Simulator, which I really love, and I have even created a course based on that. But it's a bit hard to show it to people, to convince them of the benefits, because let's be honest, let's be brutally honest. The best way to board games is with real people at a real table. Can there be a table that is not real? Oh, you know what I mean. A real experience of seeing people face to face and touching all those components when you play. That's much better. That's why I have so many boxes behind me, because I like to play board games in real life actually a lot. So that's something I used to do in the past. So you might find some videos which are sort of linked to this, let's say, niche, to this field. How is that, a field category, whatever? And then what else is there? Obviously, these days I like to watch a lot of football matches and talk about it on my YouTube channel as well, as you may have noticed. So I know there are some people who don't like football, and I'm sorry. Okay, like I said, it's a mixed bag. Yeah, it's a mixed bag. It's a lot of different things, and it might be actually a disadvantage for this YouTube channel, because it doesn't help the algorithm. The algorithm usually likes like a specific thing. The more specific it is, the more sort of people know what to expect from that thing, from that channel, the better for you as a creator, as a YouTube creator. So I don't consider myself a YouTuber or anything like that, but it's nice to have a channel. Now I have quite a few subscribers as well, and yeah, I get a decent amount of views. It's actually incorrect to say a decent amount of views, because the word view in this context is countable, and basically I should say a decent number of views. But to be honest, this is one of those mistakes that a lot of people, including native speakers, make. They use the word amount in this way, so I feel justified in saying it like this. Yes. So where was I? What was I talking about? I was talking about the free stuff that I offer. So these videos. Football, yeah, it's football these days. I have got my main show is run every Monday at 8 p.m. Central European time live. It's called Learn English with Football, and that's when I invite several guests to talk about football with me. And I think it's a lot of fun, because all these guests are very passionate about this topic, and they are football fans of different football teams in the Premier League, and that's what the show is about. We pretty much go through the Premier League matches each game week, and we choose our heroes and villains of the week, and we discuss the highlights, and we also talk about the Fantasy Premier League. So it's like something, it's like a regular, let's say, show. And then a few days later, I normally publish an extra video, which is called the Language Corner. It's a relatively new show as well, relatively recent concept that I came up with. And in this one, I explain and clarify some vocabulary and expressions from the main show. And it is, I have to say, it's been a lot of work, actually. I'm surprised how much work it was. And that's mostly due to the editing side of things. The editing, like, if you want to be a YouTuber, I really respect all the people that do YouTube even more after after doing this show, because it's so much bloody hard work. You have no idea. You have no idea how much work it is. It's, you would not expect it at all. You can't imagine it unless you really try it yourself. Like, one thing is doing the live, right? Like this. I may have like written down a few things. I haven't started even talking about those things, but I may have made a few points, but that takes like 5-10 minutes, like a quick research, right? A quick research without I made a little mistake. Quick research. Um, but let's be honest, I just record it live. I interact with the viewers if there are any viewers saying anything. Like Volt is here, for example. Monica says, yes, I do, responding to. me saying that she's still working, uh, well, helping Ukraine. Yeah. So where was I? I believe I have lost my train of thought now. Does that happen to you guys that you lose your train of thought? It's a very, very interesting expression, and it's quite useful when you suddenly forget what you wanted to say. And since this is a little bit of a, let's say, pressure situation for me because I know I'm talking to people here, it may happen. I lose my train of thought, and that's exactly what happened. Anyway, I think I was going through all the videos that I do on here on this YouTube channel, right? So I was talking about the main football show, then I mentioned the language corner. Oh, I said it is a lot of work, and yeah, that's why I've decided to change it a bit. And I've already made that video. I just need to put in some final touches, and then I will release it. Um, this week there was no main football show because obviously there were no matches at the weekend due to the Queen Elizabeth II death, and yeah, so there's like several days of mourning in the UK now. But I don't get it completely because it was just football that was cancelled essentially. All other sports went ahead. So it was a bit weird, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. And, the Premier League will be back this weekend. So there's stuff to look forward to. Now, if you're not into football, though, obviously we have got this live English lesson, which is broadcast live again every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central European time. As I said, I usually have a student, and I know some people watch this live, and there might be some people who watch this later on as well. That's a possibility as well, of course. As always, I need to sort of almost beg you. I don't want to beg anyone, but I need to ask you nicely, politely, to leave a comment and give me a like because it does help the channel. Yes. Even if it's like hello or uh, thanks for the video or something really simple like that takes you like 1 2 seconds, it does actually make a huge difference because if every single viewer did that, the channel would um, you know get more subscribers, and the YouTube algorithm would show it to more people and all those good things, right? So then, as Vault 379 mentioning here, I also have a free podcast, which apparently is amazing. I don't know. I can't really claim that because that would be super arrogant of me. So, I'll leave it up. I will leave this up to the listeners. And the podcast is, by the way, called Zdenek's English Podcast. I'm writing it down for you. And also, let me put it up on screen. So the podcast is called the Next English Podcast. Uh, um, Feel free to check it out. Obviously, you can find it anywhere you listen to your podcasts: iTunes, Spotify, all the user places. Personally, I listen to podcasts through a mobile phone app called Podcast Republic. I've been using this app for a long time, and I have to say, haven't been disappointed, not at all. Quite the opposite. And yeah, it's just like a cool app where you can listen to all your podcasts, and whenever um, the podcaster publishes an episode, it will show up nicely there, so you will always know if there is a new episode for you to listen to. So my latest podcast episode was an interview with Irena, an English teacher, Irena from Poland, about South Africa. So, yeah, it says here that I'm having some issues with my streaming onto LinkedIn. So, it is possible that today the LinkedIn people are not able to watch this live. But obviously, as always, if you are not watching this on YouTube, then I recommend subscribing to the YouTube channel because then this will not happen to you. You will always be able to watch this if you are a subscriber. Right. So I was talking about the free things I do for English learners. I mean, you might be wondering, why do you do things for free, Zdenek? It's a bit weird, isn't it? Well, first of all, I enjoy it, but secondly, it does help me get some what's the word, publicity, right? It helps me get some online presence, which is another similar word. I need that as an online teacher. I need people to know about me. I need followers. I need subscribers. Okay. These people might one day decide to buy lessons from me, or whatever. I I have got some online courses, for example, that I'm offering. I can tell you about that more later. I've got a Discord group as well. So this is, I guess, my way of showing people what I can do, my way of showing people that they can trust me as an English teacher. And also, I like to get others involved by inviting them as guests. So I think it's just a nice opportunity to also talk to people and to socialize um, with international people, right? Because obviously, I am from the Czech Republic, I'm Czech. And while there are some international students here, it's not as easy, especially if you live in a small town like me. It's actually a village part of a small town, so I'm kind of on the outskirts of the town. So in order to get to the town center, I need to ride a bicycle for about, I don't know, 15 minutes. So let's say let's say the opportunities to meet foreigners are not that great here. So that's why it's wonderful to be able to talk to, and um, yeah, to be able to interact with international people. And let's be honest here. That's also the kind of people I like teaching the most. I like to keep it sort of varied. Yeah, I like to keep it interesting for myself. I do have some Czech students. Don't get me wrong, but actually, the majority of my students are not Czech. I've got students from Turkey. I've got two students from Turkey. I've got two students from Italy. I have currently got no students from Spain, but I used to have some students from Spain. I used to have a few students from South America as well. I have got one student from Switzerland currently, and then I used to have students from Poland, and yeah, I think, oh, Germany. I used to have a student from Germany. Yeah, and then when I taught for language schools or for schools, I had international students as well. So I do have experience working with the Chinese, with students from the Middle East. I have worked with African students. So like I do have that experience, and it's just so much more interesting for me as an English teacher. It just broadens your horizons because everybody is a bit different, right? Everybody has a different kind of background, the different culture they come from, and they all bring it to the lessons, and they all sort of, I don't know how to explain that, but it just makes it more exciting for you to work with these people. Also, everyone has slightly different problems, yeah, slightly different sort of challenges in terms of the learning itself. Like everyone struggles with different sounds, maybe, or some people have these interferences. Interference is like when a word that you know in your first language sounds similar to a word in English, but actually it means something different. So everybody has these different problems, and it's kind of nice to explore them. It's like I feel like I'm like a Sherlock Holmes, trying to uncover the truth, and that makes my job more interesting because you know what, you might for you it might be a little bit strange because I guess some of you are not teach. I mean, I know there are some teachers watching this, but if you are not a teacher, you might not understand like what it's like to be a teacher. Yeah, so it's just a job like any other job, and you need to enjoy your job to keep going. Yeah, and if you don't enjoy your job, I don't know if you've ever had that experience. Let me know in the comments if you've ever done a job. If you have ever had a job that wasn't enjoyable for you, like if it's short term, you can you can just you can get over it. Just go through with it. But long term, it can get quite depressing. Yeah, and there are a lot of teachers who don't enjoy their jobs, and they even have what's called a burnout syndrome. A burnout, it's what happens to people when they just sort of what's how could I explain this? Sort of stop enjoying their job, stop seeing any joy in it. Like the joy disappears, and then all it is just a routine, and it's very mentally exhausting and demanding because you work with people. This happens to people who work with other people, like nurses, doctors, psychologists. All these people are more likely to burn out, and it's the same for teachers. And that's why I always, as an English teacher, I've always looked after my. I've always tried to look after myself in terms of what's called mental hygiene, and I've always tried to find ways to make my job more enjoyable for myself. And so you might have noticed I sort of implement my hobbies into my teaching, like football, board games. That's one thing. And then, as I said, I like to work with international students to mix things up, to make things more interesting for myself. And also the group that I have that I often bang on about here. And I'm sorry, I just have to do it sometimes. But the group that I offer to people, the way I want this group to be is that people, one of the greatest benefits this group has is that the the members can talk to different uh, people from different countries. Yeah, so it's not just people from the same country as they come from, because that's what you would experience at school, right? When you go to school, I mean, there might be some like exceptions, but in most cases, the people you go to school with, your classmates, your peers, they have the same nationality as you. And what it means is that in your English classes, you don't have that authenticity. You don't have that need to actually communicate it in English. It's all kind of artificial, isn't it? It's a bit strange, but it's different if you have a group full of international people. I can tell you more about this group if you're interested. I just don't know like how, to what extent I should go deep into it, because honestly I know it can get quite boring sometimes when I advertise myself, especially if you don't know how to do it. I sometimes struggle. I will be honest with you. I sometimes struggle with it because it's not the most comfortable thing for me. But anyway, Luke is one of the latest additions to the group. He is from Slovakia, and he was also in the previous live lesson. Remember, he was here on YouTube talking about martial arts. Luke, aka Lucas from Slovakia. Um, and Luke is sharing his own experience with having different jobs. Yes, I have had several jobs, and I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy about, let's say, burning out is a bad syndrome that makes your life less convenient and more stressful. Absolutely. And the problem is that if this continues long term, it affects your other aspects of your life actually. Yeah. So you don't want to do a job that you don't enjoy. I mean, job doesn't need to be like the best thing you have in your life, right? Your job, like could be some other things that you enjoy doing more. That's fine. It's still a job, right? You have to do the things that you have. It's like it can be a routine, but um, it can't be something you like detest. It can't be something you hate, right? You have to. It can't be something you loathe. I'm trying to find different verbs that mean hate, so that uh, I come up with some synonyms here. Hate, detest, loathe. What else is there? Let me know in the comments if you have any verbs that can be used for this. Oh, you can't stand something as well, right? So if you can't stand your job, then it's an absolute nightmare, isn't it? It's an absolute nightmare. I mean, we have all been there, that we have had some job experience like that, I guess, and that includes Luke here. And Volt says, as for me, I used to have this situation when I was working at McDonald's. Oh, McDonald's. Yeah. I can imagine, man. I can imagine. Also, working for McDonald's, there are some other issues like ethical issues, right? Because you may be aware that the meal you serve is just, I'm sorry. I hope McDonald's don't punish me for this, but the meal they serve there, I don't think they care, to be honest. It's not very high quality, is it? So you're sort of serving people meals that you might not necessarily want to eat yourself. So I'm not sure. Like there are some other issues linked with that. Not a big fan of McDonald's, to be honest with you, but as everyone else, I have been to that restaurant a few times. So yeah, I understand the appeal of it as well. It's fast food, right? It's when you need something really fast, and you don't have that time, you just order something in McDonald's and you get a takeaway. Very simple. I don't understand the people who eat in though. Like that doesn't make much sense to me. Why wouldn't you go to I would go to a kebab, for example, to a kebab house. That would be more interesting for me than I don't know. And Walt says, I was standing almost all day and cooking burgers. Yeah, it sounds like an absolute nightmare. But they paid me a nice sum of money. Okay, well, there's the benefit. There's the benefit. But he did not like it, Walt. Uh, after this job, I stopped. You know how I was reading this? After this job, I stopped eating. Full stop. Imagine that, like you stop eating completely. Yeah, I understand, Walt. Maybe they provided the food for free as well, right? So it's like if the food is free, if you work there, then you might as well get it because you save money, right? So sometimes you have to make hard decisions with that, I guess, when working for McDonald's. But no, that's not a place I would like to work at. So yeah, so I guess I was talking about my job, and again, I'm trying to remember where I was before we went off on this tangent. By the way, a good expression to go off on a tangent. It means to sort of go off a topic. You sort of talking about one thing, and then you remember something else. So you abandon that main thing you were talking about, and start talking about something else, and then there may even be like a chain reaction that you start talking about new thing again, and then you completely get lost, like I did right now. It does happen to me sometimes on the podcast as well, because I tend to ramble a bit, which can be a good thing if you have a YouTube channel and you are one of those people that don't mind talking in front of the camera. And as long as you're not camera shy, and as long as you have things to say, and as long as you have audience that listen to it, that's important as well. Like, what use would it be if you were just talking about nonsense and there were no people listening to it? I mean, that would be quite sad, wouldn't it? But as long as there are some people who can see some benefits in it, then why not? Why not? And rambling can help, right? Because I guess the worst thing here would be silence. Like if you're here by yourself, like I am now, the worst thing that can happen is if you are completely silent, right, all the time. So that's both true about the YouTube channel and the podcast. Yeah. It's okay, I guess, if there is a bit of silence in an English lesson, because that means that maybe the student is thinking, right? That's okay. That's okay because everybody needs their thinking time. But this is more like entertainment, isn't it? Like this is people are watching and they have other options here on YouTube as well, right? You have a lot of different channels you can watch. So I have to fight for your attention as a content creator. So in this case, it's desirable to talk a lot. Yeah, so I guess that it's a good thing here. Hopefully, that's what I think. So yeah. Um, I don't know what else I was talking about, but I suppose I can tell you now. So this is the free stuff I offer. Now the paid stuff, I'm not gonna talk about it too much because I know some people hate it. I hate it myself. You have to know how to sell yourself, right? And that means you have to be aware of your qualities, and I am aware of my qualities as a teacher. I'm a qualified teacher with a master's degree and CELTA, and then I took the Delta course as well and all that. I've got a lot of experience, but that doesn't mean I am necessarily good at selling and marketing. But I'm learning. Okay, I'm learning. So first, I should mention the paid group that I have. When people hear the word paid, they're like, oh, I don't want to have anything in common with that. And I get it. Sometimes I'm like this myself. So I actually understand you guys, especially if someone calls you and sometimes in the middle of the night, or just, completely out of the blue, they call you and they are like, "Hello, we are about to record this call. Um, I represent a company, XYZ, and we would like to offer you this, that, and the other." And then you're like, "Ugh, please just F off." Yeah, so I understand, but I want this to be a bit different. I want this to be my opportunity to show you what else you can do, how you can take your English even further. Because you see, you know me, you know what I can do. You know that I want to do a lot of free stuff for you guys. I want to, as much as I possibly can. Right? There is a limit. There's a limit to my generosity, of course, because if I only do free stuff, then I will not be able to put any money on the table, right? Is that the expression, to put the money on the table? I think so. Let me check it quickly. Put the money on the table. Sort of like, yeah, yeah, it exists. So also, I wouldn't be able to pay my rent and stuff like that, and I wouldn't be able to basically make ends meet. That's another good idiom, to make ends meet. You need to be able to get by. So I need some source of income, right? So this is the make ends meet expression, by the way. Um, so that's why I also obviously teach lessons for money, and you can book private lessons with me. But I think the best thing, or the best compromise for people who can't afford private lessons with me, is the Achievers Chamber, which is the Discord group that I've created. And I think it's a fantastic group where you meet those international people I mentioned earlier. And it's a group where you can take your English to another level, because you get some English learning routines into your life, and that's what we all of us need to do. It sounds a bit boring when I say routines. It can actually be quite a lot of fun. It can actually be quite a lot of fun, because we do all different things. We have an event where we practice vocabulary. We bring in vocabulary and we ask each other cool questions, and it can be a lot of fun. We have a freestyle event where it's called Friday Drinks. You don't have to drink alcoholic beverages, no, but it's called Friday Drinks. We just kind of gather online on Friday evening and we just talk to each other. Then there is an event which is actually happening tonight, where we play board games. We play board games online. Then there is another event where we test our English. We just do some online tests, and like together. Then I've recently created a new lesson there, which is about pronunciation. So I'm helping the participants with their pronunciation. Okay. And then we have got teacher Claire from the United Kingdom, who really likes the idea of this group, and she decided to sort of join the team. So now she also has her own event that's every Sunday. So like this place is actually growing. It's doing pretty well, I would say. So if you want to be a part of that, I highly recommend doing that. And it's for you guys. It's in my opinion, when you learn English, it's all well and good consuming content, like doing a lot of listening, watching, and podcasts and films and TV shows. I do that. I love it too. But another thing is producing. You have to produce the language. You have to talk. And a lot of English learners don't do that. Different reasons. They don't have time. They don't have motivation. They prefer just sort of sitting back, like they prefer just sort of like absorbing the language instead. They might be just shy, they might be introverts. So I can understand, but I think sometimes it's because maybe you're afraid to take that step out of the comfort zone. And maybe that's what you should do, because let's be honest, knowing English well will open a lot of doors for you in your life. You will get good job opportunities. You will be able to work with international people or international companies. You might even you might find it easier to move abroad, right? And we are not only talking about English speaking countries like the UK or the USA. We're talking about other European countries where English is widely spoken, like, I don't know, Netherlands, Germany, Denmark. the Scandinavian countries. I know the level of English is a little bit worse in some, let's say, southern countries. I'm not going to name, but still, you should be able to communicate in that with that language because English is still the lingua franca. Yeah, lingua franca. It means like the sort of the language that people speak internationally in like non-native English speakers. Yeah, so this will open so many doors for you if you take that level to a higher level, and you will make friends with people. You will be able to maintain relationships when you have a speech. If you, let's say, work for a company and they give you a certain role in the company, and you might have to give a speech, or you might be in charge of a team. And if your English is good, well, you will be able to lead better. You will be a better leader. Yeah, and you will maybe you will get that opportunity of promotion, right? If they see that your English is good, because they wouldn't give it to a person that can't communicate in English. And of course, all of us can improve, right? All of us can take their English to that level. And there is always, as I said, room for improvement. I guess I'm repeating myself here. Sorry about that. But I guess my point is that knowledge is power and English is power. So knowing better English, you will make more impact. Yeah, you will just get you will be more influential, I'd say, as well. The status, it helps you with your status. So I think you can sort of lose that fear in this group that I have. So I think those are like the reasons you might want to join. Of course, you can just join because I don't know, you just want to have a chat or make friends, or I don't know. There could be different reasons, but I think mostly people choose to learn English, or people choose to work on their English because of some kind of motivation. They need some motivation, right? So you want to do that often because you want to, I don't know, pass an exam. You need that IELTS score in order to get to university, or I don't know, you want to pass a job interview or something like that. But then sometimes there are like sort of intangible reasons. It's hard to measure sometimes, right? You just want to improve your English, and that's hard to measure. Yeah, so that's why, like in this group, I think we take like how would I put it? The approach we take there is like, I think you can choose your pace at which you do things there, which means there are so many events for you to choose from for that price, for that package, that if you don't have so much time, you can just choose events only on certain days, or only at certain time, or only with certain people. And maybe 1 month you will be less active, but another month you will be more active. It's all up to you. Yeah. You decide. You have that freedom, which I think is a good thing, because I don't want for people to like to feel like they have the constraints, or they, I don't want for people to feel like they're trapped. Like they want to have that choice, because I think a choice is always nice. So yeah, that's the group, and I suggest that you guys join it. I'm happy to let you try it for free as well. Yeah, I'm happy to give you a 1 week trial. I always do that because I think it's really fair to just show you what it is about. And first, you see for yourself if you like it. If you like it, you can stay. You can become a member. If not, you just say, Zdenek, I'm sorry. You don't even have to say I'm sorry. You can just say, okay, sorry. You don't have to say sorry, okay? Just say it's not for me. Bye. You can be rude. I'll let you be rude, okay? Nobody has been rude to me yet, but there's first time for everything, right? Yes. Luke says it's good for keeping your English up to date. The good thing is that you speak, which I consider the most important matter when it comes to language learning. Its output. Absolutely, Luke. Absolutely. It can't be understated. It can't be overstated. Honestly, I can't stress this. I can't stress that enough. And often, what happens is that you have even like people who do pay for private lessons. Yeah, and these lessons are quite expensive as well for them. Private lessons, one-to-one lessons. But then those people they refuse to to join these groups and to do extra work and to socialize with people in English. And I'm not sure if this is the best approach, because while it's useful, having a teacher working with you long term, and of course, it's useful to have a teacher. By the way, sorry about that. Useful is an adjective plus infinitive with two. It's useful to have a teacher and work with that teacher long term. At the same time, um, you are not learning that language in order to talk to the teacher, right? You know what I mean? You have a wonderful chance to talk to international people to practice what you've learned in the lessons. Why not take that chance? Why not take that opportunity? Yeah. So, and honestly, the price is very affordable for European people, and most are, I mean, 95% of our members are European. And for you guys, the price is just it's for peanuts. It's for peanuts. I know it's different if you come, I don't know, from Africa or India or places like that. I know it's different, but it could be a good investment for you too. The problem for you though is that the events happen mostly in the evening of Central European time. That's the little issue, yeah. So, for example, I know it would be quite tough for someone from Japan to join the events because when the events start, it's the middle of the night in Japan, right? So that's part of the issue, but it is what it is. Like I said, feel free to email me at teachersdenek@gmail.com, teachersdenek@gmail.com, and say, Zdenek, I want to join. Can I try it for 1 week? And I will say yes, and I will send you a unique link through which we will join. There is a video that explains how this group works because you have to download Discord as well. If you've never used Discord before, well, it's an app where you can do voice and video chats, and it's like a nice private group. Yeah. So it's like imagine a combination between, let's say, Zoom and Facebook, something like that. So yeah, I'm glad that you are considering joining Volt. I will definitely join one day in the future. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Although, if I were you, I would join now because I think as I'm adding more and more events and lessons to the group, I'm adding more value. I will have to increase the prices at some point. This is inevitable, not by a large amount, I think, but I will have to do that, right? There's inflation, all that, unfortunately. I've realized, guys, that for electricity here in the Czech Republic, I now have to pay double the amount I had to pay last year. It's quite bad, right? I'm sure some of you are going through something similar. The prices are going up. It's crazy. Anyway, I didn't want to talk about that. So yeah, that's the Discord group I have, the Achievers Chamber group. And yeah, guys, if you have any questions you want to ask, anything you want to ask about, feel free to leave a comment. I can answer that. I don't want to like talk anymore about my offers. I think people have heard enough. And as you know, I'm not always comfortable talking about that. I do need to talk about that though. So if this is not your thing, I'm sorry. I have to do that. Yeah, there is no other way unless I can do it in a sneaky way, which would be the best to do it in a sneaky way. So to just throw it in when you don't expect it. And but that's hard. That's hard. That's hard. You have to learn that. That's art as well. It's hard and as is art. It's art to be able to sell, and to be able to uh, offer things to people. Because you may be offering a really terrible product and be a fantastic salesman and be able to sell almost anything just because of your charisma, the way you talk to people, the way you make it look like this is something they need, even if they don't need it. So you may be selling a terrible product, like low quality product, and still sell it. But on the other hand, yeah, you may have a fantastic product, which I know it's my ego and pride talking now, but I am convinced that what I have to offer to you guys is a good product. It's quality stuff. But then if you don't know how to sell it, if you don't know how to reach out to people, talk to them about it in a normal way, like a human being, you know, it reminds me of like Raj from the Big Bang Theory. Whenever Raj talks to women, right, he is unable to be himself. The Big Ben Theory, a great American TV show. I'm not a big fan of American TV shows, but this one is fantastic in my opinion. And Raj always struggles when he has to talk to women. So I feel like I'm Raj whenever I have to sell myself, whenever whenever I have to offer my products to someone. And yet I know there is no other way. I have to do that. There's no way around it. Are you reading any books right now? I have bought I have yeah, I'm first of all, hand on heart. Where's my heart? Here. Hand on heart, I'm not a bookworm or anything like that. I'm not much of a reader. Yeah, I will be honest with you. I don't read as much because I prefer listening actually. Listening and video content as well. Yeah, so that's me. Yeah, podcasts are my thing. But saying that, I have been reading a book by Claire, our dear teacher that has just joined the team and started doing the event in the group I've just talked about. She's a crime novelist. She wrote a crime novel, and it's on my Kinder no Kindle Amazon Kindle. Yeah, so I am in the middle of reading that, and I've recently bought some one self-help book as well, which I usually don't like self-help books, but I thought this one was quite interesting, so I gave it a go. I'm not gonna tell you what exactly it is about, but I have bought that, and yeah, I've also bought two books about pronunciation, and that's because I am actually planning to launch a course about pronunciation, so I want to prepare for it well. And one is on connected speech. Which one is it? This one, connected speech for listeners, and there are some like cool tips for exercises and um yeah, a lot of good stuff honestly. So I'm gonna use the ideas from the book. Obviously I'm not gonna completely like steal steal the ideas for the course. I may adapt them or just use bits and pieces, bits and bobs here and there. And then this book as well, activities and exercises for teaching English pronunciation. So you see, I take things seriously. I'm not ju- I'm not just like someone who one day proclaimed or declared that he would start teaching and started teaching. No, I want to learn as well. It's necessary. And you give that example. You set yourself as an example to your students as well. I think it's important. e- every single one of us, right? There are things we can learn, and it's a good thing to do that. And yes, it is challenging. Yes, it is. But if you don't learn, you will stagnate, right? You'll get stuck, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to be stuck in a rut. Yeah, to be stuck in the is it in the rut or in a rut? I never know this one. To stuck in a rut. Yeah, stuck in a rut. If you're stuck in a rut, you're too fixed on a particular type of job or activity or method and needing to change. Yeah, I guess that's not the meaning I meant here, but something similar. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it is in a rut to be stuck in a rut. What's the name of Claire's book? Good idea. Good idea. I know it takes place in Czechoslovakia because Claire she moved there during communism. Czechoslovakia. Hang on. I'll try to find it. Yeah, I'll try to find the name of the book. I need to go to Claire's website. Da-da-da. Give me 1 second. I think Claire has written several books. I've just found one called Wizard Ring. That's interesting. I didn't know. I didn't know Claire wrote something like that. A wizard ring. That sounds cool. And what's the main book? Claire Blanchard, crime novel. Mm, the Tainted Vintage. It's called The Tainted Vintage. Yes, and it's about a detectives investigating a murder. I hope I didn't spoil it for you now. A Tainted Vintage. And somebody from the Czech Republic. I really like all the references of the places and sort of things like. Sorry, I got distracted by a Discord message. I like all those references that she puts in, and obviously you can enjoy it if you, even if you're not, even if you don't come from Czechoslovakia. But it is quite interesting, I have to say. Anyway, yeah, you're right, Helen. Helen's memory is always better than mine. Helen, another well-known face, obviously one of the Achievers Chamber members, and often you see her here on this YouTube channel as well. She is one of the regular students that I have on this in this live English lesson. Yeah, so obviously, guys, there's no feedback today. There's no feedback because I've just decided to talk by myself like this. Hopefully, it has been interesting for you. I have touched upon different subjects. I have talked to you a bit in the comments as well, and I have told you how what I do for my students and for people in the world as a teacher. The free I've talked about the free content. I have told you about my Discord group that you guys can join. All you need to do is just send me an email or a message on social media. By the way, my Instagram handle is at Teachers Zdenek. If any of you like Instagram, I'm also on what's it called, TikTok, but uh, I don't know what to say. Yeah. What I do basically is that I record reels on Instagram. Yeah, you might know what reels are, like short videos. Often there's like a song or a voiceover, and it can be quite fun. And yeah, so sometimes I record these reels, and if I think I've recorded a particularly good one, I put it on my TikTok channel. But I don't feel very comfortable with TikTok. But if you want, you can also follow me there, of course. I think I'm too old for it. I know there are people that are way older than me and they are still there. But it just feels weird that 99% of the people I see there all the time are so young. And it's not just about the fact that they are young, but it's about the things they post there. Like those are things that maybe I don't find as interesting as I would have, as I would if I were much younger. Yeah, if I were their age, maybe. So yeah, that's that. Has something just fallen into my eye? What? What just happened? Something with my eye. I guess it's a signal that it's a sign. It's a sign that I should probably wrap it up here. By the way, a very nice idiom to wrap something up or to wrap it up. It means to sort of finish your show. Yeah, like when you're wrapping a present, then it's finished. It's done. It's done and dusted. Right. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And yeah, I will definitely talk to you soon. But I have to say something. Next week, there will be no live English lesson. And it's quite likely there will also be no football show. But I can't be sure yet. It might happen. It depends. Okay. It might happen. Yeah. I will not be. Maybe I shouldn't give any details. I will not give any details. All right. I don't want to overshare too much information. Yeah. Team MI. Thank you very much, Luke, for watching the live. I really appreciate you and you being a member. By the way, very active. I love working with people like that. Very active, very optimistic and positive, and that's exactly the sort of people you guys should surround yourselves with as well. Thanks very much, Walt, for watching, and until next time, guys. Bye. Take care, yeah, everyone. Cheers. Bye.